Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. As you can see, I've already been playing for quite some time. I've been commissioned to make a like ornate, kind of iron gate kind of system fence to go around this air conditioner unit. This is kind of the design that they came up with. I'm just using this just to kind of space me out. I got some railing over here I'm gonna use. We're gonna do 2-inch square tubing. I've got this stuff right here. It's a little 1-inch C channel. So I'm hoping that'll work. I'm hoping I don't have to go to 1.5 inches. But this is what all that looks like. Whoopity, 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 whoop. You see how many I've made off camera. Ooh wee, at the heat coming off of this. Well, how'd you do it? This is what I got. I got a bunch of pieces of angle iron just as stops. You can use anything you want. This gives me a dedicated stop here. This, I'll show you what that does. This is my 5-inch spacing. That's the exact same spacing as this guy right here. Almost didn't press record on this, so y'all should feel lucky. This is 5 inches. That's 5 inches. That's 5 inches. And then, you can kind of finagle this bottom part. So what you do, this piece. What's that for, Ryan? Well, I've got a mark here on the area of the arc that I need to heat up. And so what I did is I transfer that onto the table right here and right here. And then I got like a mass measurement and just kind of rolled them all together and marked it. But that is the section that I need to heat up. So I need to heat up from right here to right here. Why just that section? But if I heat up over here, this stuff's gonna wanna move. You see what I'm saying? Are you following me, camera guy? And so what we'll do is we'll just, pull that out there. I can't light the torch with one hand. Come back, I'll show you what it looks like when I light the torch. Then I'll set y'all up somewhere so you can kind of see what I'm doing when I bend this. Probably right there up against my coffee mug or that. You see how, I don't know where my tripod is. Whew, I'm a terrible YouTuber. All right, so let me get this, the torch lit. We'll heat that up. It takes about, I don't know exactly how long it takes. You'll be kind of curious, so I'll see when I have my little timer that's right there counting. All right, we'll be back. All right, see if we can do this in one take. We got 2 left. I've already got 60 in total. I like to, see, you hear that? I like to go about right there. See how you can kind of hear the oxygen flowing? Make sure I don't touch none of my valves. It's going to be a little loud, so if y'all have earphones on, oops, I need to turn that down just a scotch there. One hand, you're just getting it cherry red, and then you kind of move your way down. You can stay still, but then you might start burning through that mill scale, and then you'll have to address that at a later point. This doesn't really give me a good indication on how long it takes. Somebody, if you're watching it, go back and count how long it takes for me to heat this up. Put it in the comment, if you don't mind. I don't have my earphone or my earbuds on, so that's where my mic normally is. So if I'm yelling, excuse me. And then it droops down to the ground. That's a good indication that I've kind of done everything evenly. Not all at one time. You want to gradually get that heat into this pipe. Not pipe, but bar. So we'll walk all the way down. Then I'm going to have to hurry and set y'all up. Lordy, I hope y'all can see good. I don't want to lose my heat. So I'll walk it all the way down to the bottom. Then I'll get that cherry red. And then I'll walk the length back up to kind of reintroduce that heat back into your rod. The more and more you heat it, the more heat is going to stay in the rod. Kind of walk your heat back up to the top, and you can kind of see that burns away the Sharpie, but you can kind of see where you started because some of that mill scale will kind of be burnt away a little bit. Then I'll overheat just a little bit. Ooh, about burned some leg hairs. One-handed. All right. I need a tripod. I need to find it. All right. So we go into our channel. We go all the way to the stop. Take our hammer. Can you see? I don't know. And get it into our channel. This section. Show you real quick. That section is going to jump up, so you start hitting it in your center all the way around, and then that'll kind of get that back the way I want it. So I'll lift this area up. Did you hear the sound change? The sound change means I'm making contact with the metal. Bring this side up, start from the center. Make sure, hopefully that wasn't too loud for everybody. If you had headphones on, I'm sorry. Make sure we're as far into the stop as we can get. We're pretty far. We're in our grooves here. We're in our grooves. See, we're nice and huggy all the way around. Hot dang, we're right at 5 minutes from heating up the bending. Then we'll take it off. Don't get it too close to your shirt. Take it off and see how I'm a little wide. Then I just take it kind of bring that back down without burning myself. Hold it for a second. I just got it. So I'll do that one more time. That'll give us all of our 60. I think it'd actually be like 61 because I had to buy 20 sticks of this stuff, and you cut them into threes at 20 feet a piece. Yeah. Is that right? I don't know how many I made. Lord of me. But I figured it up at one point. So I've got one more to do. Then I will come back when we're starting to figure out what kind of spacing I need to do on that C channel. My only concern is that the further you go up with this, how much is that going to want to pinch those together? Will that still go in a straight line? You see what I mean? I think it might. That way, what I'm saying is that way I can drill my holes in a straight line down the center at just 3/8. Actually, I might go one size over so I have a little bit of room to weld from the underside. And then we're going to paint it black. I think we'll be all right. So, all right, I'll come back when I'm drilling that and I've got an idea. Thanks again for clicking on my video. Y'all are awesome. Every single last one of y'all that did. So, we'll be back. All right, I forgot that I was recording. So, y'all saw me over there. The only thing that I was rewatching that footage. This right here, this stop or this little catch is when I bring the bar out to heat it. This just holds the bar in place so it doesn't flop all the way over. That's the only other thing that I was going to record all of the front, but you know, that's what we got right there. Okay, I've been out here this morning doing some very meticulous math. Here's my pad. Here's my pad, paper aided design, my MAD. That's what we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it MAD, and we're just gonna mark it right now as we design this in MAD. Maker assisted, I can't spell that, design, G-N, MAD. Let's trademark that right now for everybody that's watching, because if you saw me do my math, you would think that I'm a lunatic. That's another pocket, everyday essential, y'all. Get this little baby Sharpie. One day, maybe I'll do an everyday essential carry video of all the stuff that makes my day easier. I think I'm actually probably going to do that. So here is my my MAD. I made a story stick. If you're ever doing a lot of measurements that are repeated, make you a story stick, a yardstick, piece of wood, 2x4, piece of metal, piece of string, whatever that's going to keep track of your measurements. What I did is I laid this out right here, and you can kind of see where all my spacing is. Well, anyway, I figured out my spacing. I like the way that this visually kind of loops together. My concern was that 1 inch C channel going to be big enough for me to double stack the rods. You know, right here is where I wanted it, about 6 inches in, and then another one at about 12 to 14, I think is what I was wanting. Is that going to be able to overlap to where I can drill my main support rail C channel down the center? I don't know if I explained that very good on that last take, but that's what I was talking about. Because if it didn't stack on top of one another, I was going to have to stagger my holes. And with 1 inch C channel, if you put a slightly oversized 3/8 drill bit in there, you running out of room, baby. You running out of room. You're going to start getting into that sidewall, and that's going to take away from our structural integrity. So that's what I was talking about. Sometimes I don't make sense on the first take, and I'll go through and rewatch it and be like, make sure y'all explain that. Y'all, me and all my madness. So this is what we're doing. This is how wide it has to be, 42 inches tall. Let me get up here and show y'all. Oh. So that's basically what we've got. I like that. I just sent that to the guy that designed it, the landscape guy. He gave me a thumbs up. I'm sure that the customer will do the same because they designed that together. Everything lines up perfectly. I didn't have to offset any of my holes. All my holes are directly on center. It does kind of splay these out, but you know what? I was worried about this rocking and rattling. Maybe I'd have to throw a weld in there, but with this coming in so tight right here, it almost locks the whole thing in place. Does that make sense? Are y'all following me? And so here is my second runner, and it just so happens that the spacing, are you ready? is exactly 7 inches from right here to right there. I wanted 6 to 8. I got 7 because that's as far up as I can push this without it getting too tight. Because remember, these aren't on the same plane. Remember? They kind of overlap one another. So this puts those on the same plane, centered, just like that. 7-inch spacing. We'll come down. I want 42 inches total gate. I want a 2-inch reveal for my 2-inch square stock because that's what's gonna go right here. And I'll show that here in a second. Because I want to do a lot of this because you know me, I'll probably work for the next day and a half on this. Actually, I got to go get a new drill press because my old one just crapped the bucket on me. The motor just started smoking. I don't know what happened. The camera shut off. I think I hit my finger on it. Actually, I think I have to go get me another drill press because my old drill press just crapped out. I've had the same one for 10, 11 years. I think I paid $130 for it. I think I got my money out of it. That's how I like to buy tools, y'all. I'm going to use my sheetrock square and get all this pushed up against that backside. And then I'll use a big 8-foot. Do I have an 8-foot or a 4? I don't know what size square I have, but I'm gonna get a straight line down the center, so all of these are the same. And then that just goes in. These go in flush to the bottom. I've still got to drill those out. And then those will get welded in flush. So it'll kind of be like a little cap down there at the bottom. This is what we're looking at. So I'm going to go, I got to go get that drill press. Harbor Freight's got one on sale. Harbor Freight's got one on sale. And then we'll get back to drilling a bunch of holes. And then we will return. So this is 7 inches. 2x8 is never 2x8s, or 1x8 is never 1x8. It's always like 3/4 by 7. So this is perfect spacing for me to screw down on the table right here, all the way down. That way I can put my first rung on, set it down, put my second rung on, slide it all the way up, tack it all the way down. Oh, I gotta get an extension cord for the welder. That's another thing that we got to do. Just wired that in the other day. Woo! All right, let's get going. Let's go. Let's get out of here. All right, bye. All right, well, I got to turn the big lights off whenever I've got it plugged into the 110. I need to get a 220 over here and maybe line that with metal. That would be perfect. I figured I'd show y'all the first one. I went ahead and, like I said, I pre-cut all of them just for assembly purposes. I might have to make some more loops, but this is what we've got. I think I've got 60 or so. I called for this one to have a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. I think I called for it to have 7. So that means we'll probably end up having to make maybe 10 more. But we've got it down pat. So this is our jig. This is our bottom rail. This is exactly 36 inches to right here. So that gives me an extra 1/2 inch. The customer wanted the entire thing with the rails and all to be 42. That gives us a 3.5 inch hang at the bottom, and then a 2 inch hang at the top for our spacing. I welded. It's all got tacks all the way across. I'm probably not going to show the welding process. It's kind of the same. I mean, I'm just jumping over the table. But I did want to make sure that all these were lined up. I clamped that one, clamped that one. I sandwiched these 2 times with some clamps over there. And that's a solid piece of fencing, everybody. Let's look at it. Oh, God. One-handed. Oh! Shout out the Yellow Wolf. That's gonna look good, everybody. I like that. So that's our 4-foot section. Everything looks spaced. Nothing looks wonky. All right, so I'll reproduce that a bunch more times. I wanted to go ahead and get this done just so I could see what it looks like. And we'll hang, well, here. I'll show you. Since you're here. Hopefully I won't get demonetized with that music playing in the background. I didn't feel like pressing pause. So that's about what we're looking at. And what I'll do as far as hanging it goes, because you want some, when you're installing these things into the ground, you have to remember how wide that is. This is exactly 4 feet. So what I'll probably do is when I put these into the ground, I'll do these, maybe like instead of 48, I might do 52 to give myself 2 inches, maybe 3 inches to play with. And then we'll hang those with some, some 3-inch angle. We'll cut this down, little probably 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch slivers, something that we can either weld or self-tap into those posts. And then we'll just use bolts. All right. Had to go get a new drill press like I talked about. This one's Harbor Freight. This one's awesome. Awesome. I love it. It's got lights, got lasers. I don't know. All right. I've got to go eat. We rescued some baby possums. I've got to feed some baby possums. We're kind of rehabbing them for a little bit. Then we'll come back, and after lunch, I've got to cut all these to final size, go ahead and start laying out my drill measurements, and go ahead and drill them out. What do y'all think of the shop? Longtime viewers, the first time that we actually came into this shop. Woo. But the first time we were in this shop is when I was thinking about doing the Scion truck. And so if you remember that, look how far we've come in, what, 8 months? So I'm adding and organizing as we go. All right. This is another goodbye. Titanium. It's got the 240, 120 switch. I love this thing. I built the swim pactor with this, and I've done all my welding. I don't even touch this one. I use this one for flux core. You know, dirty stuff. I barely ever use it. All right. I'm trying to... I need to go eat. All right, let me go eat. I'll come back. We'll catch y'all up. I mean, y'all aren't missing out on a lot. See how loud it is? See, so you're not... I'm not, you know, not showing you something that is like super special. So we pre-drill it with the Christmas tree bit on this here old drill press. And then I'll slide my brick over. You see where I've been sliding my brick because I'm so little. I'll slide my brick over to here. And then this is the drill bit that's like one size bigger than the 3/8. Does the laser work? I've never even seen the laser. Yeah. And then I'll quickly hog these out. But you can do certain things to help yourself. Like over here, you can set a stop, which I did have, to where I didn't have to move this as much. But then I was doing some stuff. But like over here, see how I have the stop set? Where all I have to do is just over here real quickly. All right. So last night, before I called it quits, I made this. This is the 9-foot section. Look how awesome and perfectly straight and even everything looks so good. I'm so happy. Oh, yes. All right. So that part's done. Did y'all see the table, how I have it jigged up? I'm pretty sure. You see I've got one just over here patiently waiting. You saw the 4-foot section, which was the first section that I did. This is the other 4-foot section, which is a little bit longer because this is going to be the gate. They need like some way to get in and out of this little bitty area. I'm making a fence around a couple of air conditioner units on a house that was built in the 20s. And so we're trying to keep like the look going, but still kind of hide all the AC units and everything. I'm going to have to make a lot more of these. Because, you know, the original design, this looked visually the best. Once I had everything laid out, this spacing, how everything looks, that is just top notch. So y'all didn't miss out on any of the drilling. So I'm going to continue and do this probably for the next hour or so. And then we will come back when I run out of loops, and then I count how many I need to make. Yeah, caught up. See you in a little bit. All right. Excuse me. It's been a little bit. I had to go by Seaton's and get a bunch more of them rods. Went ahead and bent them up for the last 8-foot section. And then I did get some 1/2-inch little bar stock. That way we can kind of reinforce the gate a little bit. All right, so what I wanted to show y'all is one thing that is different between clamping wood with glue and clamping metal when you're going to weld is that you're putting heat into it. So does that make sense? Thermal expansion. If you put heat into it, it's going to want to come out of it. When it comes out of it, that means that this is now going to be colder than it was when it was jointed. So when you go to clamp your stock together, you don't want to clamp it really, really hard. I've got these clamps just loosely set in here. Now the clamps are only here, let me explain, for when I start introducing the heat into this piece of thin stock that we have a bunch of holes in, it's going to want to do this, right? Because you're putting heat in here. This is going to maybe want to make that section raise. You see what I'm saying? You follow me? So you're clamping it down every so often just so that you can keep everything straight. That's what these clamps are for, to keep kind of everything where it needs to be, where it doesn't want to move. And what I'll do is I'll actually probably weld this section around the clamp, weld that section around the clamp, weld that section around the clamp, and then I'll move all the clamps around, and we'll play the juggling game, and then we'll weld it all again. Is that overkill? Probably, but I didn't go to school. This is the things that I've learned along the way that has kept me straight and true. Does that make sense? So we're going to do that. And then I'll probably jump back when we're on that 4-foot gate section, because I need to go ahead and, did I show this? I don't know if I showed these. Went ahead and made these off. Uh-oh. I got a leak. Make sure my welder's not under that. Goodness gracious. I got to get on the roof where the two roofs come together. Roofs come together. It's got a lot of buildup of pine straw and stuff. But let me show you this one. I made 6 of these yesterday. Now, the customer did state that we're going to put some bronze or brass balls on the 4 corners. There's only going to be 6 posts. 4 corners will look good. 2, actually, the 4 will be fine because 2 of these posts are going to be in the back side. So, don't really know what we'll do with that. Do I just make some little finials, to come to a point? I might do that. Ryan, why is that there? Because when we go to set it in the ground in the concrete, my thought was that that's going to fill it full of air and it's going to want to bounce. And so we'll sink that down. I'm probably going to have to bring my welder on site. Thinking a lot out loud here. Bleep, 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 bleep. What are those? I don't know. I actually have a recording of me making those 2 years ago. I'll get back after it. All right, I'm rambling. So that's that. All right, we'll be back. The customer wanted a semi-gloss. And so what I'm doing, I've got tried and true Rust-Oleum here. Pretty much the same stuff I spray painted the car with. It's just this is semi-gloss, not flat. You can kind of see I can double stack them, and I can kind of spray 2 of them at the same time. And what I'm doing is I'm doing this side, and then I'm kind of going around, and I'm doing that side, and I can kind of get 6 at one time. Then they want it like the old look, antique look, like it's been painted a bunch of times. And so I got this oil base, protective enamel, semi-gloss black. I'm going to spray it a bunch of times, especially the rods, with the spray paint, because that'll take about 500 years to paint. And then any of the flat stock, and maybe even some of the top, or especially the areas right here, I'm going to get thick with. Maybe even purposely have some runs and some thicker areas, like you can tell it's been painted a bunch. So that's my game plan on that. That's easy for me. Whew. Everything's done. I think I showed off the gate. If I didn't, here's the gate. Let me turn this here, rogie down here. There's the gate. I found some solid copper balls actually from a weather vane company that's up north They make these solid copper, well, not solid, but they're ball spacers that are made from copper, and they use them to space out windmills or weather vanes. But they're willing to solder a cap on the top and the bottom for me. That way I can thread in something to kind of keep it here if the customer wants to do that. So I've pretty much got a game plan. Y'all are all caught up. Maybe come back when it's painted. Oh, I did make these. I don't know if I showed these, but I made a tremendous amount of these. And what these are going to do is these are the hangers. And so these, you can kind of see I've got it marked here and here. And so I'll go ahead and something I've been contemplating actually driving around. I was thinking about it this morning. Should I go ahead and I think all the heights at the top need to be the same from where the Decaloo's get hung on here, where all the fences get hung. I think the height should be the same. And if there's any elevation drop, which there's a little bit on the side where the 2 8-foot sections are going, I think what we'll do on that is we'll just adjust these in the ground, because I left myself about 16 inches. Or and just set them all the same and they'll be kind of diagonal. I think that's what I'll probably do. Because, you know, I've never done this before. And then what that means is once these are welded, you know, I'll have to find that angle and just bend this according. I think that's what we'll do. So that means like when I come back, all that will be painted. And Colin Furs just uploaded a video. If y'all have not subscribed to Colin Furs, Jimmy DeResta, the Slingshot channel. Those are the three guys that have kind of inspired me that I can make stuff. So y'all go check out their channels. But when I come back, all these will be done. I've got let's see, 2 outside corners, so I have to have 2 on those. Why are there holes, Ryan? Well, I was going to drill them on site, but then I decided I'm going to go ahead and weld them. You know, I just did just now, and so we'll just fill those up with weld. I'll go bloop, 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 beep, beep, and then we'll get those welded up. Then I've got to talk to the customer about the balls, or if she wants me to kind of make my own little point finial. I think I already talked about that. All right, we'll be back. Oh yeah, I'm making a video about this, aren't I? Sorry about that. So talked to the customer. She agreed on 2 little pointy caps on the 2 things that hug up against the house. You'll see what we're talking about when we get there. I found that place to order the copper balls. So I've got those ordered. They're going to be some solid, no, not solid, but some 4-inch copper spheres that from this weather vane company. So anyway, here's all this. There's all that welded together. They fall like dominoes, so, you know, just make sure you get them up. And this is the only one that's got 2, because we have 1 corner that we're turning. The rest of it's just kind of a nice gradual, whatever you want to call it. All right, so we're going to get this sprayed, go over everything with the Rust-Oleum oil base to give it that old look, but yes, looks a lot better in here because, you know, my eyeballs can see it better than y'all's can. Watch out for the fan. Yay! All right. I do apologize. I forgot I was making a YouTube video. This is what we got so far. Last time you saw it, it was in the shop, but now it is in the ground. So we've got that one set. Now y'all can kind of see what we were talking about. This is the first 4-foot section. And then we got a 9-foot section. And everything's kind of about level. It's funny because we're dealing with some crazy elevations right here. You can kind of see. But there's our 9-foot section. Excuse me. And then we got an 8. We got another 8-foot section from here to here. And then this is kind of like where everything comes together. That's fine and dandy, getting the spacing and getting everything level and dug. But once you get over to here, this is where that combined measurements all kind of compile up. And then you have to kind of get it to match up with what we got over here. So that's what we're doing. That's where the gate's going to be. Yeah. So all caught up. We'll come back when, we're installing the fence stuff, or whenever I remember to come back. All right. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. Now, whenever I've set posts, I've just kind of gone around and I've looked at construction sites, and they always have 2x4s holding your post up while you're setting your concrete. So that's just kind of what I did. You get your measurements right, and then it's as easy as just making sure you're level. Beep. And then get you another measurement. I'll go across it 2, 3, 4 times just to make sure. See? All right, so that's that. We got all those done. I mean, it's looking good. All right, so we'll put those 2 more bags of concrete in. I got to get a couple more bags of concrete, and then we'll let that set for 2 days, and then we'll come and put it in. All right, bye. I'm done. I think it turned out really well. I don't know if the customer's satisfied. I'm gonna quit touching this. Fresh paint. She and he are not home. I've still yet to get some like 4-inch or 3-inch copper spheres. If anybody knows where I might be able to find one of those, 4 to be exact, let me know. Yeah, so this is kind of what they're wanting to kind of hide everything. And so I wanted the ground line to stay the same all the way down. So that way when they come through and my guy does his landscaping, he'll be able to kind of hide and tuck everything. This is the gate. I've still got to, Seaton's is closed. So I've got to try to run through there tomorrow and get a rod, something that we can just kind of lift up, set to the side, or stick in the ground. That way they can open and close this as they want. I still got to add like 2 washers there, 1 more washer there, maybe 2 there to kind of lift this side. That way it's not riding on that other side as a gate, kind of like, see what that top one's doing? See, you want it to kind of hover. Is that gonna hit somebody's leg? I might even just nip that off and have it go into the ground. What do you think? You know, I could put, if I would have thought ahead, instead of putting this piece of angle iron right there, I would have put it right there, coming out, put a hole in it. Next time. So I'll probably just have not all thread, but a piece of 3/8 rod going straight down as the latch. So that's it. And I might ask them if it's okay if I can shoot a screw or a lag bolt right there and maybe right there, just to kind of secure that a little bit, because the weight of this over time is going to naturally want to pull that off the house. So the only reason we did the gate is that if they ever need to access in here, pull weeds, get to the air conditioners, maintenance, all that stuff. I really am happy. I am happy, because it cuts your eye. You know, you kind of see the gate, you're like, oh, okay, gate makes sense, or the fence makes sense. So, all right, I think this is going to be a long enough video. I think, I mean, it's more of a, excuse me about my hand, more of kind of like a follow along. You know, I'm building this. When I remember to record is when I come back. So I do apologize. If I had a camera person or a kid, you know, I keep saying, but I can't get any of my kids to come out here and film me. All right, everybody. Again, thank you so much for watching my channel, for clicking on this here little mini movie. I mean, Just do stuff, you know. Just do it. That's all I'm saying. Just do it. Look how good that looks. I'm a happy maker. All that turned out good. Look. Wish this was at my house. I don't want it to leave. It's so beautiful. All right, everybody. Again, take 5 minutes. Just a couple of minutes throughout this day. Quit all this busyness. Quit all these distractions. And just take 5 minutes. Take some deep breaths. Be a part of this planet. Put your feet on the ground. Look up. Let the sun hit your face. Let the wind blow across your hair. Just, you know what I'm trying to say. Just be present for a little bit. This world can get you worked up, and, you know, we all get to go, and we sometimes forget, you know, about them easy things like breathing and existing. So, all right, bye for real. Y'all have an awesome one, until we meet again. All right, copper balls are in. I had to show them. I couldn't just not show it at the end of the video. But these are 4-inch copper spheres that are float valves for plumbing. I had to think a little bit outside of the box on that, but that's what that is. I don't know if I showed making this. If I didn't, I made this little thing for them to open and close their gate. The gate is in. All 4 copper spheres are in. Customer's happy. I'm happy. It looks just, God, those copper balls do it, y'all. Anyway, if you followed all the way along to the end, I do appreciate. Make sure you get out there, make something awesome, and just have fun, you know. Take a couple minutes out, breathe a little bit, have fun. Thanks again. I appreciate it. And y'all have a good day.